The 2022 to 2023 NBA season for the Los Angeles Lakers has gone much like last year's. They sit mired in mediocrity, desperate to get back to contention. LeBron James has been phenomenal all season long and will soon pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the all-time scoring leader. That's going to be a historic moment, but LeBron has really been the only positive thing this year for the Lake Show. Anthony Davis has been great when he's played, but he continues to be mired by injuries. He missed the All-Star game because of it. The Russell Westbrook drama seems to be reaching a crescendo with his inevitable trade, and after swinging a trade for Rui Hachimura, the Lakers aren't done yet. This is the trade deadline preview for the LA Lakers, presented by BetOnline. Use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for a 50% reward bonus on BetOnline. The Super Bowl's coming up, tons of fun prop bets for you to get in on, as well as some more NBA action for the next few months, so check out betonline.ag. Also, we'll be hosting a trade deadline live stream on my Blazers channel, link in description if you want to watch that. Now let's jump into it. The Lakers currently sit at 25-29, which makes them 13th place in the West. In most years, you would see a team have the 9th or the 10th seed with this record, but with the parity in the West this year, the Lakers are even lower. However, that isn't a bad thing. The Lakers still have a chance to get back into things, but they have to act. As of right now, the Lakers are a borderline bottom 10 team on both offense and defense, and they're the 24th ranked team in net rating. They got LeBron James and Anthony Davis to build around. Rui Hachimura has looked good since he's put on a Laker uniform, but the Lakers need to do a better job of fitting the roster around those guys. Their strengths are what you'd expect from a LeBron James-led team. They excel attacking the rim. They have the highest rim rate in the league. They get to the rim more than any other team. They also get to the free throw line quite a bit, and they defend the three-point line well. But the biggest issue all season long has been the lack of spacing due to a lack of three-point shooting. This is something that the Lakers will definitely look to address at this year's deadline. They also don't force a ton of turnovers defensively, which is something they could look to improve on. They're deep into the luxury tax. They're not going to worry about that, and they do only have 14 players on the roster, meaning they can bring back an additional player via trade, or they could leave that roster spot open to make a play in the buyout market. The biggest factor in the Lakers trade deadline this year is Russell Westbrook's $47 million expiring contract. The Lakers will likely look to move this deal, potentially taking on a negative contract in order to create value so that they can add another player to their roster. I will have trades later on in this episode looking at such scenarios. But Russell Westbrook, $47 million a year, that'll come off the books next offseason. I expect Russell Westbrook to get bought out wherever he gets traded, and he's the most meaningful piece considering the Lakers don't have many other tradable salary chips. They're not trading LeBron James. They're not trading Anthony Davis either. Patrick Beverley's making $13 million on an expiring contract that can be thrown into trades if the Lakers are taking back an obscene amount of salary. And then Lonnie Walker's $6.5 million contract can be thrown in as well. The Lakers could elect to do a deal for Russell Westbrook and then try and lump Beverley and Walker together in order to bring back approximately $23 million. But other than that, the Lakers don't have any salaries that they're going to trade. Rui Hachimura, since he was just traded for, can't be aggregated with other salaries, meaning he can't be combined in order to match what's coming in. Every other player on the Lakers roster is basically on a minimum contract. With that being said, let's take a look at the Lakers draft pick situation, which isn't too pretty. Pelicans have the right to swap first-round picks with the Lakers this year, meaning that if the Lakers miss the playoffs, that draft pick for the second year in a row is going to the Pelicans. And then the Pelicans also have the right to one of the Lakers' 2024 or 2025 first-round picks. The Pelicans basically get to choose, which is why I had to put that ugly text as the second first-round pick down. Now, this means that the Lakers can't trade their 2026 first due to the stepping rule, since they might be trading their 2025 first to New Orleans, but the Lakers still do have two tradable firsts in 2027 and 2029. If the Lakers trade that 2029 pick, it'll likely be protected since you can't touch any future picks beyond 2029. And after the Hachimura trade, the Lakers still have some second round picks that they can lump into deals to try and make things work. But asset-wise, you're looking at Russell Westbrook, Pat Beverley, Lonnie Walker IV, the Lakers' 2027 first, and their 2029 first. That's what I expect to be in play. Now, I feel like I need to touch touch on the Kyrie Irving situation a little bit, as Kyrie Irving, of course, demanded a trade, wanted to be traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, and Brooklyn Nets owner Joe Tsai did not want to trade Kyrie to where he wanted to go. So the Lakers might have gotten screwed there. Kyrie Irving would have definitely taken this Lakers roster up another rung. If you want more of my thoughts on the Kyrie trade, I dropped a whole video on it, but now it's simply what can the Lakers get back for Russell Westbrook instead. Now the Lakers have reportedly talked to two separate teams about Russell Westbrook, and both teams make sense. Those teams are the Utah Jazz and the Charlotte Hornets. Both of those teams are looking like sellers at this year's trade deadline. Both of these teams will be looking to land one or both of the Lakers' tradable first-round picks. So with that being said, let's take a look at the trade ideas. The first trade idea I have is with the Charlotte Hornets, and that's the Hornets trading Gordon Hayward and his $30 million contract, along with Terry Rozier, who's making $21 million a year for the next 4 years, to the Lakers for Russell Westbrook and a lightly protected 2027 first-round pick. I think Gordon Hayward is a negative contract given his injury history. He's rarely available, and $30 million is something that the Hornets aren't going to want to pay him next season. Hayward probably fits the Lakers roster better than Russell Westbrook, so that's a win for the Lakers. They're in a desperate enough position to view Gordon Hayward as a salary that they are willing to take on, especially with what they're paying Westbrook this year. And for the Hornets, they extract value out of getting off of that contract for an expiring in Westbrook. Terry Rozier has struggled a bit this year, but I still think he's a commodity. However, that $21 million a year isn't looking too hot. However, the Lakers aren't in much of a position to negotiate, so I think the Hornets will be able to extract a first-round pick out of them. In the best case scenario for the Lakers, they might not have to give up a pick at all. Maybe it's a second or two, as there could be a situation where the Hornets just want off both those guys' salaries and just want to completely clear the books for next offseason. That's the Lakers' best bet to get a couple of role players who still have a lot of talent for a player that's not really wanted across the league. Of course, the Hornets would buy out Russell Westbrook, and he would likely sign with some sort of contender. It would be interesting to see where he would indeed sign. The next trade I have is with the Utah Jazz. It's the same sort of thought process, except the Lakers get back Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, and Rudy Gay, and they have to give up 2 first-round picks in this deal because I think the Lakers are getting back better contracts. Mike Conley has 2 years left on his deal. He's scheduled to make $24 million next year, but only $14 million of that is guaranteed. And while he's definitely not the same player he used to be, he's still a solid veteran. Meanwhile, Malik Beasley is the type of shooter that the Lakers really need, and he would likely come in and start at a wing spot for LA. Rudy Gay is just some extra salary that the Jazz wouldn't want. And in the best case scenario, I could see the Lakers getting this trade done with maybe 1 first-round pick and a couple of seconds. However, I do think it's likely that Danny Ainge would be able to extract 2 firsts out of the Lakers. And I threw a third trade for fun into this thing, and it's a 3-team deal with the Miami Heat getting both Russell Westbrook and Fred VanVleet. The Lakers trade Westbrook for the terrible contract of Duncan Robinson's, as well as Kyle Lowry, who hasn't really panned out so far in Miami. I think the Heat might like to get off both of these contracts, but then also because those salaries are so enormous, it makes it a little bit easier to match for Fred VanVleet by trading out some minimalistic contracts in Caleb Martin and Dwayne Dedmon. I have the Heat trading a first-round pick as well as a second along with those 2 to the Raptors for VanVleet, who replaces Kyle Lowry as a starting point guard, and then it would be interesting to see whether the Heat would keep Westbrook or buy him out. I've already done a Raptors trade deadline preview and talked a little bit about Fred VanVleet with Samson Folk, a Raptors beat reporter, so definitely go check out that video. It was the first one of these, so it is a ways down there, but I think this would make sense for the Lakers as well, getting a starting point guard that's a little better fit than Westbrook, and then getting Duncan Robinson, who has declined as a shooter but can still shoot, and for the Lakers' sake would hopefully regain some of his three-point shooting ability and could be a solid fit on that roster. Anyway, my prediction for the Lakers is that they're going to land Gordon Hayward somehow, and Russell Westbrook will get bought out by the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte would have to throw in another contract into that deal. Maybe it's Terry Rozier, like I showed. Maybe it's a Kelly Oubre. Maybe it's someone else. But that is going to be my prediction, is a Lakers-Hornets trade. With that being said, that's a wrap for this trade deadline preview. Let me know what you think of the Lakers heading up into this year's trade deadline. What do you think they'll do? What do you think they can get back for Russell Westbrook? Let me know down in the comment section below. Subscribe as we're on the road to 1,000 subs, and leave a like on this video. It helps us out. Once again, this has been a trade deadline preview presented by Bet Online, and until next time, as always, peace.